Bitcoin is on a boat crossing the ocean in heavy storms, and no one knows exactly what is going to happen, if it's going to make it. But in today's video we are going to have a look at some charts, guys, very interesting charts, which is the Bitcoin CME Futures chart, which gives us a lot of information. We are going to have a look at the regular Bitcoin chart, stablecoin dominance, and so on. I'm going to show you the importance of the time period that we are seeing right now with Bitcoin and why this is so a decisive period. Why is this so important? I'm going to show you exactly, guys, my trading strategy, and at the end of this video I want to have a quick talk with you about a lot of educational things. Guys, let's jump straight into it. So guys, let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin so far is getting rejected from the resistance. We didn't manage a breakout yet. It's still possible in the future, but right now we haven't seen it yet. Also, the momentum indicators, they are still trading below the daily resistance, which we have created early this year. So that's a very long-term macro resistance, and if we were to break that resistance, it will definitely unlock a lot of new bullish momentum. But we also got to see it for what it is, right? And so far this is still a lower high. We get a red candle right here, and as you can see, previous times when we had like a red candle after such a big green pump candle, most of the time Bitcoin reversed. So that's also the playbook that I've been saying in my videos for the past couple of days and over on Will Alerts, that I'm still going to assume that this is remaining in this bearish structure until we see a very clear breakout. And this chart is also very important because it looks like right now this chart is breaking down, and although that is also possible, we gotta be open to that scenario right here that this chart might be breaking down right now, but I don't really see a confirmation yet. And such a macro chart that we are watching, and this is, by the way, the stablecoin dominance, which has an inverse correlation with Bitcoin, right now the best chart to watch if you ask me. Yeah, we might do something like this where this chart just goes here, touches the support, and eventually just bounces off from it back into this channel, and that would be actually a very bearish scenario for Bitcoin. But the opposite is true as well. If this thing were to break down decisively, that would be a massive bullish signal. So I'm just basically waiting for this. When we have a look at the liquidity heat maps, we can see that there's still liquidity above us at 27,500. I've been naming this number also, but we also have liquidity below us, and it's a little bit divided right now. It's not really clear where the most liquidity is. So this chart wouldn't be the best indicator right now, but we do see that we actually have liquidity below us as well. So it's just interesting to see. I definitely going to continue to watch these charts because we have been very successful in predicting where Bitcoin is going just by looking at these heat maps, right? And yeah, we do see some liquidity below us, so that's just important to note, because if there would only be liquidity above us and really no liquidity below us, then you could make the case that, okay, the liquidity acts as a magnet and the price will go to that liquidity. But right now it's divided, so there's no clear direction in terms of liquidity. Then I would say in the weekend, this is one of the most important charts, guys, and maybe is definitely worth mentioning still. That is the Bitcoin CME Futures chart, and we often open on Sunday evening at the exact same level where we closed Friday with the Bitcoin CME Futures chart, and this one stands at 27,100. So that looks higher than the spot market, but it is not, because on the daily we closed here, and with Bitcoin on the daily we also closed here. So that would be, sometimes there's a little bit of divergence between the price of the premium, or actually the CME, right, or the spot market. So I would say that this would set the Bitcoin price at 26,950. It looks like the CME Futures is still slightly higher. And on this chart, we can also see in what kind of situation Bitcoin is right now. And I would say it's very, very interesting, because we are seeing a really interesting pattern right here, a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern, right, with a left shoulder right here, head in the middle, right shoulder right there, which is a higher low. I think this looks kind of interesting. The target of this formation would be the width of the neckline till the head, and let's not take the bottom, but let's take that candle to be a little bit conservative right here. Let's put the thing right here. That would bring the Bitcoin price to $30,000 if we were to break out to the upside. And the thing is, guys, when this thing would break out to the upside, and if we would reach $30,000, it will change the structure on so many charts on a macro scale that would make me definitely very, very bullish. So I would be more confident to be in a bigger Bitcoin position whenever that happens. But there's also another thing that this chart is pointing out, and that is that we have a gap right here at $20,000, and this is quite a big gap. And what we know from these gaps is that normally sooner or later these gaps really tend to get filled. So we have, for example, a gap right here. When we go down right here, the gap is being filled. Here we formed a gap down, which eventually got filled right here. Also shows an important level of resistance, because afterwards we saw this correction. And what we can see normally with these gaps, so we have a small gap right here. Couple of days later it's filled, a gap right here. Couple of days later it's filled. Here we get another gap. This took a little bit longer, but this one got filled as well. But also the moment it got filled, directly bought up. So there is something with these gaps that is significant. It just doesn't seem like a coincidence that these gaps just get filled because of the future volatility. It looks like that these gaps also carry some information that there is a reason behind these gaps. Otherwise, these gaps wouldn't align that much with support and resistance levels as well. But yeah, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just coincidence. But the chances of a gap that is created to be filled is actually quite high. It is almost at 100% because almost every single gap is filled. There might be one gap at very low levels that never got filled. Let me have a look at it, because I don't know, but sometimes I hear other people talking about it. Here we can also see a nice gap, directly filled, directly bought up as well. So yeah, as far as I know, also gap filled. Here we have a gap, 23,000, that one is filled. Here we have a gap at 18,000, that's also filled from the previous low. So all the gaps that I can find, guys, sometimes I hear some people saying like, yeah, but what about this gap? I don't see it. The gaps that I find right here are all getting filled. But it's just interesting, guys, that this chart is just also saying that we are at this very important crossroads, and you can make multiple arguments. That's the confusing thing right here, guys. You can make the argument like we got a bullish or like a reversal pattern, right? But you could also make the argument like, okay, this is a high, we form a double top, and in the price we actually lower, right? It's called a hidden bearish divergence. But I would honestly, guys, don't look too much to all of these metrics and indicators. I would wait for the price to break out. Also, when we have a look at Willport, guys, at the Pro Charts future, I hope you like this new future that we have been creating, because we have been working very hard on this. And yeah, it's just a super nice system to use, where you can just load, similar like TradingView, all these indicators, right? Funding rates, volume, premium index, and yeah, I just want to have a look with this with you, because what we can see right here as well, that the volume right now is increasing, so there's more trading going on. That is interesting. The premium index has been very successful in the past with like calling these stops. So whenever this thing goes positive, it actually means we most likely see a drop in the price. Here we got a positive, we got a drop here on this rally, this pump it went positive, and then afterwards we dump. So that's quite interesting. I would say the take buy sell ratio is also very interesting right now, because it is trending up, and generally when we see this one trending up, we are seeing the price eventually follow this metric as well. So I would argue that right now on Willport, you can also basically make arguments for both scenarios, and that is also basically how it works with trading, right? There's not one there's not always a situation where everything is super clear, and that is what I was trying to say in my previous videos as well right here, is that at this specific moment it just looks like there is no clear probability for Bitcoin going up or down. It might be around 50-50, but just to hold something, to get a grip on something, I'm holding on the macro structures until they are being broken, because that is my safe zone, and I've recognized in the past that would help me more to stay grounded in the market instead of combining all these metrics, because we got so much contradictionary indicators and numbers being presented to us, right? So guys, that is also my story for today's video. Bitcoin again is at crossroads. We so far did got a rejection, which is aligning with the scenario that I have been mentioning yesterday, right? That we might come down right here. However, we still, and this is still definitely a possibility, it's still possible for Bitcoin to break out right here to the upside. That will coincide with the stablecoin dominance breaking out to the downside. And if we do get that breakout, it will definitely be a paradigm shift and it will change market conditions. And right now it's weekend, Saturday, so I'm not expecting too much price action. As always, weekend isn't that exciting, and Sunday evening most likely will just open where we closed on Friday midday. So guys, I would definitely watch these charts as well. Then guys, recently I have been posting some nice educational videos, and I definitely think those videos got way too less views, and I'm sure that not every single one of you knows about these subjects, and I would definitely say that I would definitely recommend to watch these videos, because it will give you a better insight in how you can use exchanges and how you can set up your trading game. So for example, this one, Bybit trading webhook, so where you can actually develop a trading strategy in TradingView, connect it to your Bybit account, and completely automatic trade, so you leave out all your emotional states when making decisions. I think that's a very interesting video. It's a very interesting technology. It's very easy as well, and there are already pre-programmed strategies over on TradingView as well to just play with that. You know, it will give you a better insight, and it can help you automate your trading if you want to step up your game. And also this video, Bybit trading bots, I still have my bots open. They are still in the profit, but here I basically explain how you can set up your trading bots based on AI, set up a grid that when the price of Bitcoin goes up, it's automatically shorting, and when it comes down into support levels, it's automatically longing. So when Bitcoin is ranging sideways, you'll just make money. You just make like a passive income. This for example is also a very good video where I'm explaining about heat maps. And yeah, I can see that, as you can see, normally the daily uploads are getting more views than the educational videos. And I get that, because maybe for the educational videos you need a little bit more patience. It's not that focused on news and price action right now. But guys, to get a better understanding, I would definitely say, it is weekend, take your time. If you want to develop yourself, have a look at these videos. Check out the Bybit TradingView webhook, Bybit trading bots, the heat maps tutorial, very important. Most of you know what a market order and limit order is. Of course, I just wanted to have this video in place for the ones that wanted to get a better explanation into this. But the relative strength index tutorial right here is also very good, because I'm explaining right here how you can use the relative strength index in 3 different ways. So there's not only one way to use this relative strength index. Again, maybe most of you guys know about this, so I guess you don't really need to watch it, right? But if you want to learn more about the relative strength index, watch it. And I'm pretty sure that every one of you has all the knowledge about trading bots and webhooks, stuff like that. So definitely watch this one as well. Also, we are going to shut down September, which means that the Shemitah cycle is over and a new cycle is starting. Very interesting as well, because that can actually be good news for Bitcoin and risk on assets. I will talk about that more in the not so distant future. Guys, I want to wish every single one of you from the bottom of my heart a very beautiful weekend. Make sure that during this weekend you're not with your consciousness in your mind, but bring your consciousness in your heart, which means that you can have a better influence on your environment and experience life in a more positive way. So I wish every single one of you a very beautiful day, beautiful weekend. And guys, I hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.